Now, Hurt should be a film I should cover in my low-budget binge video. It's got a small budget, no recognizable actors, a small setting, and tells a rather small but powerful story. The thing is, one of the producers of Hurt is Bryan Bertino, the director of The Strangers and The Dark and the Wicked, two films that ooze dark atmosphere and a powerful sense of dread. Those same qualities are in abundance with Hurt, and I kind of love this little film. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. C2E2, aka the Chicago Comics and Entertainment Expo, is going on this weekend beginning Friday, December 10th and running through the weekend until Sunday, December 12th. I'm going to be there in Artist Alley peddling my wares at table H12. I'll be signing and selling this exclusive Pirouette poster of Carlos Granda's excellent cover of Pirouette Volume 1, as well as Pirouette, GRAVETRANCERS, and ML Miller Frights buttons. I'll also have copies of my own comics to sign and sell, so if you're at the show, please look for me in Artist Alley, stop by, say hi, and pick up some merch. See you then. Hurt is new on demand and digital download this Friday from Gravitas Ventures. It's directed by Sonny, Mallhi and written by Sonny, Mallhi and Solomon Gray. Tommy, played by Andrew Creer, returns from the military a scarred man, and while his wife Rose, played by Emily Van Ray, is over the moon to see him, she's concerned that his PTSD has changed him for the worse. Attempting to have a night of fun, the couple venture into their small-town Halloween celebration and go on a haunted hayride. But when Tommy has a flashback, resulting in an argument between the troubled couple, he leaves Rose on her own. But after she makes her way home, Rose is unaware that something horrible has followed her. Hurt is the closest thing to a spiritual sequel to The Strangers as you're going to get. Bryan Bertino's film is one of the most terrifying horror films I've seen in recent years. The sequel failed to recapture that pervasive tension and palpable dread of the original, but Hurt does. Hurt is very aware of what it's doing. From the opening sequence, which pays strong homage to The Strangers, to the intense stalk and slash that occurs in the latter portion of the film, Hurt is going to be one of those films that you take with you long after it's over. Director Sonny Mallhi does this by painting a very vivid and detailed picture of the character of Rose. She's a likable gal. She seems to love horror as she's watching a horror film at the beginning of the movie and marvels at the Halloween attractions on the hayride. There's one scene where she mutters, "Cool," that's immediately going to endear her to horror fans. She also is given a wonderful little moment where she interacts with a trick-or-treater while wearing a mask, not unlike one of the masks from one of the strangers from the movie of the same name. Because we are given a window into Rose's somewhat twisted sense of humor and given scenes of how she truly loves Tommy, when she's placed in peril, I was there with her the entire way, experiencing the fear and terror right next to her. Director Mallhi is not a generous director. He withholds information that normal slasher films would advertise, covering moments in darkness and obscure viewpoints. Occasionally, you have to strain to actually understand what this faceless stalker is actually doing. The camera moves quickly over scenes you want to linger on. This creates a sense of total lack of control on the part of the viewer. You want to see what's happening, but Mallhi isn't going to give it all away, just enough to unnerve you and get you scared. This is a sophisticated style of horror that I haven't seen, well, since Bryan Bertino did it in The Strangers. But even before the horror from the hayride follows Rose home, Mallhi is able to convey a sense of dread, as if something horrible is coming over the horizon and can't be stopped. This is a very somber film. While Rose attempts to liven things up, Tommy seems too far into the muck and mire of his experience in the war to truly see her. There's a fog of despair in the air, and that is thick. and it makes you eager and at the same time hesitant to find out when the other boot is going to drop. Again, this reminds me of another of Bertino's recent films, The Dark and the Wicked, another somber and depressing film that establishes a feeling of terror long before the horror begins. It seems Bertino's influence is all over Hurt. Less patient viewers will have a lot of trouble with Hurt. While I was enwrapped in the lead character's interactions and problems, I am sure some will find the very slow moments in the first 40 or so minutes excruciating. This is a film that wallows in the darkness, and those looking for a thrill a minute are going to be frustrated having to wait until the bad things start to happen. Those who like definite explanations will be frustrated at what is left unsaid and unrevealed. Hurt does come to a logical and even poetic sort of ending, but it takes its sweet time to get there. I also think Mallhi's style of lighting scenes to obscure and not show everything is an interesting stylistic choice that inspires all sorts of devious dots to be connected in one's mind. That said, the fact that numerous characters have the same basic characteristics and are bathed in darkness, I will admit there were times when I was confused just who is in danger at the moment and where that danger is occurring. But I actually love not knowing the who and where of Hurt occasionally, as it only adds to the nightmare-like tone of the entire film. Hurt drifts from one dire situation to a worse one, and does so in a way that will leave you clawing at the edges, but unable to get out of its dark intentions. I don't know how hands-on Bertino was with Hurt, but Mallhi definitely owes a lot to this filmmaker. Fans of Bertino's films are definitely going to want to seek this one out. It's not a mainstream horror film by a long shot, but what Hurt is a waking nightmare that ends with a relentless cat-and-mouse chase for the ages. That'll be it for today. Please chime in down below in the comments and let me know how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own review. So guys, you know how YouTube works. I'd love to be able to dedicate more time to this channel. I'm not monetized yet, so if you want to help me out, remember to hit all the pertinent bells and whistles down below. Want some spooky comics to read? I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks you should look out for. Both Gravetrancers and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, can be found in only the finest of comic book shops. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on my website, mlmillerwrites.com. If you really want to show your support, I also have a Patreon page at mlmiller. Look for the link to my Patreon page down below. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside